Hi, my name is Dr. Bradley Lambert, and I'm a clinical research scientist and exercise physiologist. Today, we'll examine a critical issue in sports medicine, and we're going to be talking about the limitations of body mass index when assessing obesity and risk in collegiate football athletes, and why actual body composition assessment provides superior clinical insights for this unique population. So let's start with the fundamental problem. BMI is calculated as weight in kilograms divided by height in meters squared. So it only uses height and weight. It has standard cutoffs for general populations where a BMI of 18 to 25 is normal, 25 to 30 is overweight, and over 30 is considered obese. However, these population based standards fail to account for the unique body composition of trained athletes. So, for example, football players undergo intense training designed to increase their muscle mass. This elevated muscle mass can push their BMI scores into overweight or obese categories without any corresponding increase in body fat percentage or risk. So essentially, BMI can't distinguish between fat and lean tissue. This leads to a systemic misclassification of health risk in athletic populations. So, the primary aims of our study were pretty clear. We wanted to evaluate the relationship between BMI and actual body fat percentage in collegiate football athletes. We also wanted to compare body composition profiles between football players and age matched controls who were non athletes from the general population. The following data are published in the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine. Essentially, we conducted a comprehensive cross-sectional study involving 156 Division 1A football players from two Texas universities. We compared that against 260 age-matched male controls collected over a 10-year period. Regression analysis revealed some interesting differences in the BMI body fat relationship between groups. Essentially, our football athletes were largely classified in the overweight and obese category. However, that was by BMI. When we actually look at the corresponding percent fat to those cutoffs at 25, at a BMI of 25, for example, our football athletes averaged 11% body fat, whereas our general population controls averaged 20%. This demonstrates how lean mass or muscle mass can influence how someone is categorized by BMI. One important factor that we did observe, though, was that compared to non linemen, our offensive and defensive linemen were observed to be at a higher percent body fat. And in a lot of cases, these linemen were observed to be in a higher percent body fat than our general population controls. This indicates that there may be some cardiovascular risk for this group. This is important because if we were just using BMI, we'd have almost the entire team categorized as obese and overweight. But by using actual body composition analysis, we can determine who the most at risk folks are. One other thing I'd like to point out, though, is that what we haven't taken into account is the vigorous training that these athletes go through. So it has been shown numerous times that those who may be overweight but still fit and exercise training are still in a better health profile than adults who do not exercise train at all. So further study needs to go in to how this sport training itself may help mitigate some of this risk. Regardless, this shows the lack of function or usefulness of BMI in athletic populations. So, in conclusion, our research demonstrates that BMI fundamentally misclassifies athletic populations due to elevated muscle mass. While this creates challenges for population level screening, it also presents opportunities to demonstrate that more precise, individualized health assessment using actual body composition assessment can be a helpful thing here. Evidence based body composition assessment improves clinical decision making for athletic populations and enables targeted health interventions for those who may stand to benefit. One other thing that's important to consider here is that this is likely an issue beyond just athletics. Many of our health insurance policies and clinical considerations, whether that's for surgery or medication, is often based on nothing more than BMI. So you don't even have to be a football athlete. If you're generally athletic and may have elevated muscle mass, you may still end up classified as an at-risk individual. This highlights the importance of getting away from these old methodologies of using height and weight and using more advanced things such as body composition. For any clinical staff who feel like this just takes too long or is so impractical, I highly disagree. Simple skin fold measurements and things like taking bioelectrical impedance are very fast and rapid assessments. Not everyone has to go get a gold standard DEXA assessment. There are a number of ways to evaluate this. So, thank you for watching. If you're interested in topics like this or things related to exercise physiology, rehabilitation, orthopedics, or sports medicine, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in learning more about my laboratory or how to support our ongoing research, feel free to check the video description below. Thank you.